Welcome everybody to the Brooklyn Racing League. This is the GT3 Sprint Championship, Season 18, Round 9, here at Suzuka. At the moment we're on board with Reagan Chandler. As we get this underway, practice has got 9 minutes 36 seconds left in it. The pros in the standings as followed is Gage Hines sitting in first, Jeff Koppel in second, and Peter Flanner in third. Followed by the Pro-Am class of Alex Zier in first, Elliot A. Burton in second, and Brandon G. Burns in third. And then Andrew Korostecki still holding the title spot there in the AM class championship with Richard Swedersky in second and Reagan Chandler in third. Followed by the rookies of... It says Derek Doppler. Oh. Michael Plays Games. Mikhail. Thank you for following and making me aware that I didn't have my audio set to headphones. It's a good one right there. I think I would know what to do, having done this so long. Yeah, I don't think anything in the on the website's changed. Derek Doppler is definitely part of the pro class now, and so is the other one. So the rookies, unfortunately, the rookies is not accurate. Valhalla Motorsports is leading in first with Jeff Koppel and Gage Hines. That's what P1 and 2 in the pro standings will do to a team. They have 12,495.25 points. Pretty good. That's a lot over draft point gold of Elliot A. Burton and Peter Flanner, who are at 10,376 points. Mystic Mustang Racing, Aiden Gertz, Forrest Holland in third. Draft point silver of Rodrigo Theory and Tyler Kern in fourth. Thunder Thighs of Dylan M. Thomas and Jacob Simmons in fifth. Sweat Buckets of Christian Judkins and Derek Doppler in sixth. Prosciutto Punch Racing is not Prosciutto Punch Racing anymore. I think it's like Drunk Driving Racing or something. I don't know. I forgot. Andrew Korostecki told me about it, and I completely forgot. Jason Daly is also on his team. Tachyon Simsport Cobalt is Andrew Frank, Joshua D. in 8th. Carrera Azteca of Mark Foley, Marshall Scari in 9th. E3 Motorsports of Reagan and Ryan Chandler in 10th. Tachyon Simsport Carbon of Brandon G. Burns and Connor Burns in 11th. Valhalla These Nuts of Austin J. McGill and Matt Benson in 12th. Asa Rays of Lars Stiles, Thomas Smith in 13. Sparkle Farts of Chris Lambeth and Eric Koonsman in 14. Charles Weed and Christopher Cheerling of Little Prism Nuts in 15. Captain Gold Motorsports of Craig Carroll and Steve McAllister in 16. And Loud Valley Racing of Joshua Jablonski and Seth Hansen in 17. Last place. Oh, a lot of cars going off. This is set to see who's going to be wrecking. That is Reagan Chandler there, folks. We'll go down the order a little bit and see if everyone's in the mix. We got 17 drivers in the AM class that have actually showed up. There's actually 2 drivers that are out there on track, but William Florence, 18, and Theo Nolasco, who might have been promoted, but if he has, it's not wearing the decals at all, so of anything. Of something. Anyway, we got some newcomers to the race as well. Edgar Acevedo, hope I'm saying that right. Well, that flag, that could be Puerto Rico, Chile, one of the two. I think there's another Latin American country with a maybe, I don't know. Well, that's our 4th rookie and a new addition here. Brian McGrath has been here a bit. I think 2 or so more races. Brandon S. Powell also in the mix. What is this? Whoa. Was an odd... Anyway. Going up the order here. Let's see. 13 Pro-Ams. Jason Daly, the last of the Pro-Ams. The 4 rookies. And then up further in the order, Austin J. McGill. Ooh, a little spin in the background. That was not Austin. Maybe, oh, he is in 12 pros. It's a pretty good mix. Good. 12 pros, 13 pro-ams, 18 or 19 AM class drivers, and then at the back end we have William Florence, so that's 5 rookies. 48 drivers are out there on track, so this one did not fill up to capacity. But that just goes to show you the differences of how the first half of these seasons go, and then people losing a little bit of muster there. One of those is we had 22 pro drivers that have entered at least one race this season. That said, in the Pro-Am class, we've had over 21 drivers enter races this season as well. In the AM class, we've had over 21 drivers register and complete laps and race this season as well. Now, the rookies, that's where it gets really interesting. There's 29 rookies, and if my math is mathing, we got one shot on on at least, I don't know, I'm going to say 9 of them showed up for one race, and then a couple showed up a couple races in a row. Beyond that, there isn't a consistency with the rookies anymore, especially the ones that were in rookies for the first half but have been promoted. There shows them still in the rookie class at the moment. But it'll work itself out before this season ends. Yeah. At the time right now, the time to beat is going to be Gage Hines. Oh. Now we see what's going on. They are flashing away. Alright, let's take a look at who this is. I'm not even on anybody, am I? Oh, I'm on... Here we go. Let's get that. Got Ben Laughter, Kyle Strauss, Joshua D, Jeff Koffold joining the mix, Colin Pepper, Brandon G. Burns. Do like a chopper? What about Blimp? Yeah, Blimp's good. Well, folks, 1 minute 50 seconds left in practice, and then we'll get to the qualifying session. We'll just keep it right here on the set of drivers that are all out there, distracting some drivers in the... Oh, well, almost looked like they... Whoever was pulling out right there looked like they were about to hit Brandon, but getting some maneuvers. That's not a distraction at all. Well, I was going to say that Gage Hines is set the fastest lap and is the only one in the 156s. He did a 156.942. Then Peter Flanner with a 157.1. Connor Burns with a 157.1. And Jeff with a 157.2. And then we actually go 157s until Nick Mazza. The last of the 157s is in P10. Then you got Matthew Mercier in 11th with a 158.095. And the 158s say 158s only for 10 drivers. Forrest Holland, who is sitting... 9 drivers technically. Forrest Holland, who is sitting in P20. Last of them. Then you have Ben Laughter in 21, and that's a 159.402. And I mean 159s all the way down into P32 from P21. That's a big margin for the 159s. And then you got your 2-minute markers at Brian McGrath at 33rd, and then the 2-minute marker people, it's going to be from P33 all the way down to P43, and then 201s for everyone else. Being slightly generous, there's 2 guys in 202s, but that rounds us out. And that is practice said and done. Quick word from our sponsor as we head into qualifying. Well, I may or not have been muted for the first bit here, but we're on board with Jacob Simmons. I didn't say much, if you're anything. It's just some ASMR that you got, and now you get me overtaking this this lovely Lamborghini. Burns still trying to stay within that draft. And it seems like it's working out. He hasn't been losing a tenth. He's 9/10ths back, and he's holding that and maintaining it. He's actually gaining a little bit here on the backstretch, but he opts to not follow in the line. He looks like he's leaving a little bit back there. Man, the first drive across the line into P2. Connor Burns in first. Nick Mazza drops into third. Gage Heinz, second fastest. John Javecki across the line. Braden Daniels also into sixth. Hinge Korsecki into seventh. Joshua D into eight. Matt Benson 9. Now in Alexier's 9. And we're getting some shakeups. Peter Flanders now across the line into eighth as Colin Pepper has just made a move into fifth. Joshua D up into 10th. Marshall Scari across the line into 14th as Austin J. McGill has just crossed the line into 8th. The 2:00.00. Whoa. It's 2:00.00.003. That is almost as clean as you're going to get for a 2-minute Again, we're seeing times in the 159s. Connor Burns holds the fastest time at the moment with a 159.176. We know where that puts him. From practice, 159 will get you P21. 158s, 11 through 20. 157s, those are the times to get to, and there's only 10 drivers I got in the 157s. Actually, one of those drivers was in the 156s. That was Gage Hines, who's just sitting right behind the leader at the moment. And Connor Burns is actually quite nicely tucked in still. Ooh. 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 Speak of it fit, and it comes a happening. They are both out of that one. Yeah, you don't hope to see it. But there it is. Nick Mazza has just taken P1, but just dropped back a couple spots there as Jeff Kofold is now leading with a 158.2. Gage Hines was initially in provisional pole there as Peter Flanner now crosses the line to go fourth fastest with Colin Pepper just behind. Tyler Kern across the line into 15th. Elliott Burton now into 11th. Improvement on that lap. Improvements overall, and they're jumping around the board, as you can see. We have 39 drivers that have set qualifying times. Matthew Mercier was pretty quick in practice. Are they going to be able to find that pace? This is their second lap. Angel Donello Soto also out there on track. 2 laps so far. Ryan Chandler also still out there, 3 laps out. Finding the limits. Some off tracks there. Kyle Strauss is now across the line to get a lap in. Brandon S. Powell. No time on the board as Mark Turek is improved to 30th with a 2:01. Andrew Simmons. Ooh, got a driver off. He's Joe Ferraroni. Andrew Simmons, 3 laps out there still. No time recorded just yet. At the moment, it's still going towards this driver of Jeff Kofold, who's leading. Whoa. And out of the way goes Andrew Gorstecki there, who slots back in. And is this going to be another improvement for our current leader? Gage Hines is now taken first. And Jeff has also improved. Did improve, but not his position. Oh, that's unfortunate. Colin Pepper with an improvement of 158.4. Now we have 7 drivers in the 158s as Mark Foley joins the club into 4th place for the time being. Matt Benson is our leading 159 driver at the moment. He's sitting in 8th. Brian McGrath improves into 19th. As Andrew Simmons finally gets that lap across, it's valid, and it's a 2-minute. .027. Just as close as Ben Lafter there, who's got a 2-minute .022. Not too far off each other. That interval is to the driver just ahead of them, and if Joshua Dees is anything to match, that is true. That 0.000 is in fact the same best lap that Matt Benson made. It's a 159.098. So they are equal in their best. That's pretty incredible. I don't think I'd see something like that. Now we have 45 drivers who have set times across the board. Daryl Carrington, last of those drivers who have set a valid time across the board. Matthew Mercier, still out there, no time on the board with Angel Soto as well. But, oh no. Yikes, that's unfortunate there. Maybe his ears are burning. Merc better be aware of the possible drive shaft. Oh man, just gotta hit us with that one there. Unfortunate. I don't even think where are the Mercedes? All right, we have Richard Sweaterski. That could be the first one, can it? Anyone further up the order? No, I think this is it. We have one Mercedes of Richard Sweaterski in P27. Oh, no, Thomas Smith. P36. So we have two Mercs in the field. It still really just ebbs and flows with manufacturer choices, doesn't it? Let's go, Andrew. That McLaren goes on pole or don't even load on the trailer. Korostecki or Andrew Simmons. They're both in McLaren as well. Andrew Simmons' last lap was his best lap, an improvement. It was a 159.576 as well. Oro? Yeah, well, he's sitting above his rivals. Let's see where his next best is. Go P16 of Jacob Simmons, and that will be Andrew Simmons, who's sitting second in the AM class. Dragon Chandler in third at P25. That's the difference there. Hopefully, Andrew Korostecki can just have a good race. He's sitting in the mix of nothing but orange. Just straight up pro drivers. Him ahead of Matt Benson, who is the Pro-Am driver, to beat over Connor Burns in 13th. And get shuffled down, but that was Brandon G. Burns, now in 16th. Battle of the Andrews. Well, at the moment, it is looking like it's Korostecki's. Well, Matthew Mercier did put a time on the board, and it was a 38th with that time, a 2:09.71. No driver in the 157s at the moment. Gage Hines still holding the fastest lap, hasn't improved off that last lap. And neither has Jeff Koffel, who is sitting just 0.027 behind his teammate. Nick Mazza also within that 1/10 mark. Mark Foley slightly outside of it with a 10th. Oh, somebody's off track there. It's Braden Daniels. Joe Ferraroni in that black Porsche. Qualifying is coming to an end, so improvement there for Jacob Simmons, who was sitting way further back in the field. He's now gone into the top 10. No improvement for Matt Benson at 59.69. Joe Ferraroni did get a lap in. That was valid there. It's a 57 for him. Angel Manella Soto here. Is this a valid lap? It is. Puts him in the 47th there. New driver that joined us for the night. Rookie of Edgar Acevedo. Welcome. Welcome. And they have a 201.8 196 at the moment. Can this be an improvement? Last attempt was not, unfortunately. John Javecki quietly in the top 10. Best lap of a 158.503. And if Joshua D can just make a 10th up here and push Andrew Korostecki out of the top 10, this might be a first, I think, in ever. We've had a full lockout of the pros in the top 10. At the moment, there's that AM class driver. Ben Lafter improves. John Javecki is off. And more people are off. Not sure what's going on. Oh, whoa. And that's Braden Daniels. Just spun it through the initial spot. Joshua D did improve and put Andrew Korostecki down into 11th. Mark Foley and Marshall Scari are trying to improve. Nathan Hemperly improved into 25th with that one across the board. And, oh, we got Joshua Justice, I think, into this, trying to park it. A couple drivers crossing the line here. Can't even see where they're at. Reagan and Reagan Chandler improved into 22nd. Tyler Kern was also in that. It's 31st at the moment. But look at that. You have Gage Heinz overall in the pro leader in first, and Andrew Korostecki, the AM class, in 11th for first in class. Matt Benson, 12th overall, first in class. And our rookie, I'm not sure who our rookies are anymore. William Florence in P25. Look at that is a full lockout for the pros, 1 through 10. Jeff Koffel in second, Nick Mazza third, Mark Foley fourth, Colin Pepper fifth, John Javecki sixth, Peter Flanders 7, Marshall Scari 8, Jacob Simmons 9, Joshua D 10, Andrew Korostecki 11, Matt Benson 12, Austin J. McGill 13, Connor Burns 14, Elliot A. Burton 15, Braden Daniels 16, Brandon G. Burns 17, Alex Zier 18, Ben Lafter 19, Richard Swiderski in 20, Forrest Holland 21, Reagan Chandler 22, Andrew Simmons in 23, Andrew Frank 24, William Florence 25, Brian McGrath 26, Nathan Hemperly 27, Eric Kuzman 28, Jason Daly 29, Brian Zaborowski Jr. in 30, and Tyler Kern 31, Ryan Chandler 32, Matthew Mercier 33, Theo Nolasco 34, Oliver Brooks 35, Joshua Justice 36, Mark Turek 37, Aaron Eckers in 38, Thomas Smith 39, Kyle Strauss 40, Edgar Acevedo in 41, Daryl Carrington 42, Craig Carroll 43, Steve McAllister 44, Todd Buellmer 45, Brendan S. Powell 46, Angel Minnesota 47, Joe Ferraroni 48. And I think that might be also another time where a new record, everyone had a qualifying lap put down, invalid. All 48 drivers did set times. So there, that's another little fun fact. I'm sure it's happened in the past, but it must have been so long ago. This race is about to get underway with the team of Valhalla Motorsports leading the team championship by 2,000 points. And both drivers are set to finish first and second in the overall championship. Gage Heinz is leading the championship over his teammate Jeff Koffel. Let's hope these two can keep it clean and collected on the track as they chase down this championship. It's round 9 out of 12. And literally anything can happen in so few races left. You got the former champion of Mark Foley on the second row. next to Nick Mazza, who's also won a championship. They got 2 championships. They 3. I think John Chavecki also won. Right back there. Peter Flanners also won one. They used to have a champion. Jacob Simmons is actually back there, also has won. They used to have a spreadsheet that I had of the champions. I wish I still remembered where it's at. Jesus Christ, what is up with that camera angle? That is an official camera angle, by the way. Doesn't matter. Alright, we're about to go underway. It's a Peter Flanners, a 2-time champ. Nick Mazza, a 1-time. It was JD Daniel, John Chavecki's teammate, that was a champion. That's my bad. And this is the lap 1 camera brought to you by Mark Foley. We're about to go underway. Pace car is in. And Gage Hines gets a run of it as Nick Mazza can have that inside line. Colin Pepper going down one at the start, but we won't know until we get to the first corner there. And oh, down on the inside goes Nick Mazza on Jeff Koffel. That's going to make up a spot possibly. It looks clean. Everyone else going too wide through the first corner. The snake we go, and it is still fairly clean. Couple going too wide. Nick Mazza was able to capitalize, so was Colin Pepper on Mark Foley. And further back, a few drivers able to make some moves, but ultimately it's only 1 spot, maybe 2. Daryl Carrington's having a nice run there at the back, and there's someone that's fallen off the order. That is probably going to be Todd Buellmore, who was sideways through the S's. And somebody's off. Somebody ran hot. There's a spin. Yikes. Yeah. Unfortunate. Through the hairpin, it looks a lot better. That was Techno 1. Actually going into 2. I don't know who was the one that dropped down. That's Jason Daly and Matthew Mercier, but to be honest, I look like a Ferrari to me. Building up a nice gap there for Gage Hines. 8 tenths already on Nick Mazza. His track debris is popping. These are some great. Ooh. Looks like Jeff Koppel's trying to make a move there, and oh! Somebody is tumbling down the order, and that is going to be Peter Flanner. We're going to have to take a look at that at another point. But Peter Flanner out of a race before we even got to lap 2. Again, it's awful. A few drivers have not survived the opening lap as we see it. We'll take a look here. And it is a spin back there. That is a Draft Punk Silver driver. And the rear's kind of all loosey-goosey. So Angel Vanilla Soda's have made up 9 spots with Daryl Carrington just ahead. And they're shuffling in. Further up the order, you have William Florence, who's leading the rookies, with Brian McGrath sitting 2nd, Nathan Hemperly 3rd in class. That is 26 and 27. They're only separated by Brian Zaborowski Jr., who's holding them back only by 3 tenths from the looks of it. And further up the order, it's looking pretty strong for Andrew Korostecki, who's sitting now 10th as he overtook Joshua D. off that opening lap. Elliott Burton also making some moves. The battle for the Pro-Ams is 12, 13, and 14, first, second, and third in class, and they are doing it with Elliott Burton overtaking Connor Burns. We have a full battle for 23 laps in total. We'll see how this unfolds for the Pro-Ams. Further up, Colin Pepper, back where he started. Mark Foley retook his spot back, and now it is fairly clean for these pro drivers up here at the top of the order. But further back, you have William Florence trying to make a move here, or trying to defend against Zaborowski Jr. And the moment it goes to William Florence and Andrew Simmons, who was all looking to make a move here, Andrew Frank, and I'm not sure who was ahead at the point, but a little out there. Let's take a look. Peter Flanders back. Just kind of how it goes sometimes. None of my timing stuff is working. So Peter Flanner, go back and see if we can get to a point. Here we go. Do a chopper view. He seemed to be doing just fine. Marshall Score is right behind him. What went wrong for Peter here? Oh, it's the curving. Well, he's back out there with a clean car. Hopefully he can do something. Edgar Acevedo is doing fairly well in P33 with 8 spots gained. Angel Manuel Soto still just pumping in good numbers. Oh, that's Thomas Smith off the track. We get a spin there for Eric Koonsman, I believe. Going too wide with Brian Zaborowski Jr. Ooh. Ooh. Well, Juvenile Soto making another spot gain off of Thomas Smith through the first corner. And Nathan Hemperly out. And toe. Now, Angel 15 has Mark Turek inside with Tyler Kern also trying to make a move. What side? Let's see if this works out. Further back, you have Craig Carroll and Daryl Carrington just ahead. And a slight no bueno. They're going to get sorted. They're back out on track. Elliott Burton's going to have to do a recovery race from now on. Both draft puck goals. bad luck is back, and that is no bueno. It's time to consult a shaman. Matthew Mercier is actually already basically almost regained all of the stuff that they lost off the opening lap as well. Brandon G. Burns and Ben Laft are pretty close. The moment, lap times identical. Now if we'll see anything unfold here. And go back to Eric Koonsman here. Did make up a spot off of Craig Carroll, and now is pushing probably in the best position shortly against Daryl Carrington. Is Angel Vanilla Soto did go back slightly. Slots in, gets that spot. At the moment, where will Eric Koonsman try to make a run for the overtake? Is he going to be on the backstretch? That's a very fast left-hander. He's opting out. You blink and you miss it. Look at that. Brandon G. Burns into the first corner. Hops ahead of Ben Laughter. And back to live. He seals it. And he's still ahead. I had a sense for that was going to happen. But just wasn't patient enough. Oh, Daryl Carrington, I think, had a bit of a slow up there. Both of these drivers kind of checked up slightly. Matthew Mercier behind Craig Carroll. He's in the Aston. And another blink and you miss it. Eric Koonsman is now ahead of Daryl Carrington. Now it's just up to Craig. Put a move in. Go to the top of the order real quick. Mark, it's not season 17. I was about to say Mark. Gage Hines is leading right now with a 2.5 second lead to Nick Mazza. Jeff Koppold is holding steady behind Nick at the moment. 4/10ths back. Mark Foley, 1.3 to these two drivers. Is holding in. Has a bit of a draft pack behind him of John Javecki, Colin Pepper, Jacob Simmons. And then last of those drivers, not truly last though, is going to be Austin J. McGill in 8th and Marshall Scari in 9th, who's holding slightly back within that 7/10ths. And then Andrew Korostecki 2 seconds back in 10th, leading the AM class at the moment. Matt Benson in 1st in class, 12th overall. He's got Braden Daniels and with a buffer right now from Alex Zier, who we're looking at. Alex Zier is 2nd in the Pro-Ams and is 14th. Would like to keep the fight on with Matt Benson, but not able to do so at the moment. Close battles here. We'll go further back to Ben Laughter is still sitting behind Brendan G. Burns, Andrew Frank, Andrew Simmons. Oh, I forgot Andrew Frank. That's three Andrews. Battle of Andrews continues, but Korsecki is leading them. Forrest Holland in 19th. William Florence, first in class for the rookies. Brian McGrath is second in class and is right behind. 1 second back. It'll be the first win for, I think, either or. And Zaborowski Jr. in 22nd within the draft here. And Joshua Justice up 13 spots. The typical run there for Joshua Justice. Not an ideal qualification, but putting in good work, getting those spots gained. Ryan Chandler up at 8, up into 24th. Aaron Eckers in 25th with 13 gained at the moment. Theo Nolasco also up in there with 26. Into 26 with 8 gained. Oliver Brooks also 8 gained out of the driver. And you can't miss him. That's Elliot A. Burton right behind Draft Punk Gold. Last of the drivers that's still sitting closely together, tucked in. And then it goes Mark Turek, 3 seconds back into 29th. Has a bit of a gap there to Thomas Smith, 2 seconds. And then Tyler Kern ensued. Then you have a group sitting in the 30s, and they are all set together. Daryl Carrington somehow leading these guys again. I thought Eric Koonsman had passed him, but he's ahead. Let's go, Chris. John Javecki's doing fairly well. We pop up over there. Andrew Korsecki is now up in the 9th. But Austin J. McGill putting some pressure on him. Must have had a mistake. Oh, that was awfully close, but there goes Austin J. McGill up in the 9th. Andrew Korsecki holding on to 10th. But, oh, that's Marshall Scary dropping down. And let's see what happened there. Oh. Yikes. So, he's back in. Guess the damage wasn't that bad because he's in it. Elliot Burton is already going in. Served his mandatory pit stop on lap 9 of 23. See how that works out for him. Alex Zier and Brandon Burns battling for P. My bad. That's Marshall Scary and Alex Zier. Timing table did not look correct for a second. Peter Flanner's still out there, having gotten that fast repair in, and is just trying to make up some spots. Todd Beelmore just ahead. Difference in pace at the moment for Todd Beelmore and Peter Flanner. Peter did a 159.4. And never mind. The lap time didn't matter. We went off the track. There it is again. Daryl Carrington is behind Eric Koonsman and Matthew Mercier. P31 and 32 for these drivers, respectively. And now they're free to venture off forward. We'll go over to Brian McGrath. You still got Brian Zaborowski Jr. A lot of the same names, folks. Couple Bryans. 3 Andrews. We already have too many Chris's. Way too many Chris's. There's no Chris's here tonight, I don't think. That's something. Ah, yeah. There's no Chris's here. Marshall Scary was dropping down the leaderboard, but he's in the pits at the moment. So we'll see how this actually ends up playing out for him as he's gonna hop back out here shortly. Elliot Burton did a 32.8. Marshall Scary is probably doing a full repair. We could do the fast repair, but maybe something more. The league went from having 6 regular guys named Chris to 0. Yeah, it's kind of how even Chris Chitterling usually shows up and isn't here. That would be the sole remaining Chris. I think he shows up for the ARCA races though on Wednesdays. Nice. Well, can't wait to have you. I was just going over some of the champions. So when we started this race was a solid front row. Oh, sorry, second, third, and fourth row were all champions. The moment one of those champions is further in the back of the grid, unfortunately, because they had a mistake. But you have Jacob Simmons, a 2-time champ, Peter Flanner, a 2-time champ, JD Daniel, a 1-time champ, but he wasn't here. It's John Javecki. John Javecki's on that row, and I know one of those PAX guys won, but it was JD Daniel, not John Javecki. Nick Mazza was also on the second row with Mark Foley, and both drivers have won a championship. Also, Austin J. McGill, who's up into 8th, won the season 16 championship. So the entire first couple of rows were stacked with champions. As we have, Joe Ferraroni trying to make a move here on Steve McAllister down in the first corner. He goes. I think he's going to follow suit. Yeah, he doesn't make the move just yet. Maybe he will. But that's fascinating. For the pro drivers. As far as AM class drivers, well, that's harder to say. Not sure. You have Marshall Scary, who won the AM class championship and a Pro-Am championship, and he's now a pro. It's further back in the order, but yeah, 1 champ for PAX. JD won season 12, yeah, season 12. That was when there was, I think, 2 full teams, maybe even a 5th driver or something. That's when Valhalla was consistent. There's a lot of draft punks out there. I think 2 chicken shop teams. It was quite something. There's a lot of sister teams. As Andrew Frank putting a little pressure here on Ben Lafter, as he's only 4/10ths back, and closest battle we have out on track. Well, that's closest one I can see at the moment. And he's awfully close. Andrew Frank. Last lap, Ben Laffer did a 2:03. Andrew Frank did a 1:59.9. Three full team with 1 additional. Beans, chicken, yeah. That was also, yeah, it was full of tomfoolery. That's probably not even the word. But, just people having a good time, having fun. Up at the top of the board, we are. Let's go on board. The Lamborghini of Jacob Simmons, 2-time champ. He could have been a 4-time champ. He could have been a quad champ. He could have been a triple champ. But those drop weeks, they got him. One confirmed that I know of, championship didn't go his way. Hashtag drop week, yeah. You know what's very funny is Andrew Korstecki, who's sitting 9th overall, first in class for the AM class, has won 3 championships in the AM class. Won season 2, 4, and 5. Jeff Koppel, who is sitting 3rd right now and is a pro, in season 8 won that. And look at that. That was one picked off. We were all on board for it, but if you weren't paying attention to the onboard, Jacob Simmons made that before the front stretch. Before he even got to turn 1, he had that move done on Colin Pepper, and he is now up another spot and is chasing down John Javecki. Iceberg moment. Yeah, further up we have Nick Mazza trying to hold back Jeff Koppel to Mark Foley here. And Jeff has also won season 16 Pro-Am championship. So Jeff has 2 championships under his belt. He's sitting 2nd in the Pro championship at the moment. But his teammate is going to be difficult to beat. He's 3rd right now in the race. Jeff is. His teammate's the overall leader and the overall standings leader. It's going to be quite the hurdle. Gage Hines at the moment has 6,137 points to Jeff Koppel's 5,321.25 points. I think he had a penalty of some sort there. I'm not sure what the half points are for, or the 0.5 is. But there you go. Good on Brian Zaborowski Jr. here. Still holding firm. Whoa! And Brian McGrath. Oh, that was Brian. Oh, sorry. Zaborowski Jr. just spun. Talk about a commentator call out here. Oh, rejoins the track. It was a little sketchy, but no one was harmed in the rejoining of Zaborowski Jr. there. Yeah, what I was going to say is William Florence now only has the difference of 2.3 seconds to win. Is he a rookie? Now I gotta go look. It says he's a rookie. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he hasn't raced enough. So that is it. So he is, while those are blue accents on his, for AM class, he is indeed a rookie. So it is still fight on for the rookie win, as they are now 18th and 19th in overall, 1st and 2nd in class. Braden Daniels is the buffer between Alex Zier and Matt Benson for 1st and 2nd. Brandon G. Burns, Andrew Frank are in the mix. They are 14th and 15th as well. And even Andrew Simmons here, who was way further back at the start of this race, now up 7 spots against Andrew Korstecki, who's sitting 9th versus 16th. I'm not saying there's going to be a change in the order there for the AM class lead, but if it does happen, I'd be curious to see how it happens. Nick Mazza is in, Jeff Koppel is in, Gage Hines is in, Mark Foley stays out. Let's see if the overcut works for him. Colin Pepper is out still as well. Who is that? That is Todd Buellmore and Brandon S. Powell. Looks like Nick Mazza missed his spot Gage is out. Jeff is out. Nick finally out. We'll see the difference with these drivers as they exit the pits. That was a 32.6 for Jeff Koppel. Nick Mazza, a 36.1. Unfortunate. As people re-enter the track, it looks like it's going well there. Unfortunately for Peter here, he has yet to pit after lap 1, so he's gained a lot, but he's still going to have to go back in. Elliot Burton, however, did pit. He's now only down 11 spots. See, someone else that pit. I think it was Marshall Scary, but he's sitting back in last at the moment, unfortunately. Pit on lap 9. Put a Craig Carroll. Just gained a spot. Daryl Carrington is up 19 spots but has yet to pit, so that will change slightly for him. So we get the likes of William Florence is now sitting in 26. Was leading the race over Brian. And both pit. Oh. So, Brian McGrath did a 34.6. And William Florence did a 37.3. So when they went into the pits together, the difference is just straight up in pit time. They sat in the box way longer. And now that might have cost William Florence a win. That's rough. But these drivers are out there. Put some pressure. We'll see what happens. Mark Foley has re-entered the track and is sitting second, up 2 drivers. Jeff Koppel. Jacob Simmons also up a bit more, now up in the 4th with 5 gained. John Javecki even gained 1. Nick Mazza, we knew he was going to go down the order slightly, and that's going to be punishing for him. Because Mark Foley is now actually actively putting pressure on Gage Hines. Difference in pit time. For Mark Foley, he did a 32.6 to Gage Hines 33.9. I still can't imagine that was enough, considering he had a 2.5 second gap to P2, which was, gosh, so that was Nick Mazza. He's now in 6th. Pit stops really changed the course of the race right now, and that's what we're seeing with this race right now. It's a lot of changes. That overcut must have done wonders for Mark Foley here. We also don't know what kind of traffic they played into this as well, if any, because may not see something happening here, but we may see something happening there. We'll take a look at both of them. Looks like Jeff is going to cover off the inside and defend against Jacob Simmons. Go back on board. 2 battles for the lead of this race, and as well as 3rd place. We're sitting on P4 right now, as the pros show us how it's done. They're extremely respectful, giving each other space if they do go too wide. At the moment, no one's going to make a move up into the Dagnas, but mistakes can happen, opportunities arise, but nothing there, as it looks like John Giavecchi is cutting slightly into that 1 second margin. Nothing into the hairpin. But on exit, can we get a peek at what Mark Foley might attempt to do as they go into spoon? And nothing from either driver on the attack. Well, on lap 17 of 23, soon to be 18. Anyone's going to make some moves. They don't got many laps to do it. And nothing there. Whoa! Really reeled in the rear of Jeff Koffel, who's now going to try to defend that inside line. Maybe. Nope. Not just yet. There he goes. His intention is known. Slots right back in. It is intense. Yes, there might be some other battles happening on track in the 20s. But the battle for the lead, and the battle for P3, and 4, technically, as well, since we're on board with 4, they're in it. John Giavecchi kind of slipping away from this pack. Is it going to be a mistake that allows for a move, or is there going to be some strategy here at play? If Mark makes a move and fails to capitalize on it, Jeff is going to be all up in that, as well as Jacob Simmons. So when it rains, it pours. He's already up 2 spots. He can finish this in second. If he can't even find a spot to exploit to make a move, and that is Todd Buellmore, who's already jumped to the pits there. Code. Lets off slightly and is going to carry that around. Mark still unable to make a move. And almost looks like John Giavecchi's catching these guys now. We'll see on the power if that's true. Yes, it is true. He is 9/10ths back. He was 1.3 seconds back, and now he's 9/10ths. He's definitely reeling in Jacob Simmons at the moment. Last lap for these drivers was a 2:02, a 2:01. John Giavecchi did a 1:59.8, and now he's slowly catching. It's lap 19 of 23. On board with Jacob Simmons. And if only that monitor was slightly higher, I mean, it is really getting in the way of that middle spot, you know what I mean? But it's looking good. Let's go on board with Jeff Koffel in the Ferrari. Oh, he's gone wide. Gage Hines has gone wide, but that is not. Oh, he's unable to do anything with that. Mark Foley slots right back in. And it looked like for a moment that when you went wide of the hairpin, something was going to go down, but no. Oh! Ever so close. Jeff, ever so close. That right front looks so close to kissing the left rear of Mark Foley. And Jacob Simmons is now side by side, and you can't see it, but the pressure's on. And we'll take another look at it. because we're on board, but Jacob Simmons did make a move, and that got Jeff a little concerned as they were both going through 130R that fast, and he swapped off the track. And if we go back live, it is going to be Jacob Simmons up into P3. That's a double champ move for you, and he is right there. Getting closer to Mark Foley, lap 20-23. Take a look further back in the order here as we have Oliver Brooks up 12 spots. Everybody is doing fairly well up there. William Florence has retaken the lead of the rookies. Good news for him, as Oliver Brooks is sitting in a slight pack here. 12 gain. Aaron Eckers ahead of him with 16 gained. Theo Nolasco up into 24th with 10 gain. Something must have happened with the Pro-Ams. They're scattered amongst some of those AM classes as well. Somebody had an off in the first corner. And Mark Foley has just taken the lead. All right, backing it up. He's already got it. All right, so there it happens. What a move. What occurred? They just doors open and he slots ahead and he just keeps it there. And he's gonna have the inside line into the first Stegna, and yep, and then Jacob Simmons is also getting close. We'll go back live, and now we have an unusual scenario. Jacob Simmons is now taking the fight to Gage Hines, who was leading this race with most of this race. Just lost the lead to Mark Foley in the last lap, and now we're on lap 21 of 23, and he's got another spot dropped as Jacob Simmons has taken into the first corner. And John Javecki and Nick Mazza are also joining suit as we have P1 to P6 now closer than ever, with Colin Pepper shortly behind. What is happening? Does Gage not have enough to go to the end of this race? And look at that! Jeff has just gone by. So is John Javecki. So is Nick Mazza. Gage Hines is dropping down the order, and Colin Pepper is getting close. I would never have guessed that this is the outcome of this race. It's gotta be fuel. He's gotta be short. Gage did a 33.9 on his pit time. Jeff Koppel did a 32.6. I mean, Mark Foley did a 32.6. Jacob Simmons did a 31.6 on lap 15. They went one lap more. And if it is fuel, that's rough. The overall leader of the championship standings, Gage Hines, is now dropped back, and that's going to cut in some good points that he was going to get from finishing first, as his teammate is now going to finish in third, reeling in the championship to be a little bit closer than it was. Don't know what that's going to look like, but from 6,100 points to Jeff's 5,300 points, that's not. It's gonna shrink. It's gonna shrink that margin. As Nick Mazza is getting within the margins there on John Javecki. Maybe he tries to make a move before this race ends. At 22 of 23. Andrew Korostecki just got 1 lap to go and is sitting comfortably in 9th place. For an AM class win, Matt Benson also has Alex Zier putting pressure. The race isn't over for the Pro-Ams. They are 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. P1 through 6 in the Pro-Ams. That is impressive. They have locked that down. And now, Matt Benson has to hold out for a lap. Brandon Powell giving way to these drivers. And I think it's all over. He slots back in. Oh, lets him go. The only one that's going to get slightly held up is not really because they're in that spot. I think it's going to be fine. He's already let him by. Brandon S. Powell. What a gentleman. A rookie gentleman. That is going to be the white flag. Who's gone through it? Let's see, Joshua D's on board. Never shows you at some tracks, does it? Wherever that guy with the flag, he's failing to do his job. I'll say that right now. I don't want to hear it. The battle in the 20s is also still alive. Oliver Brooks holding back, Esteban Nolasco, and Joshua Justice, Mark Turek trying to make moves happen. Oh! Joshua Justice into the barrier. That was live, folks. Rough. There it is. Nick Mazza is trying to make that move, and he finally got it out of the hairpin. And they're going side by side through 200R and into Spoon, and Nick Mazza has it down. That is also a champion in the Pro Series. Not series, but it is not over though. John Chivecki trying to respond, maybe. Nope, he's going to stay there for now. Into the chicane. He's got it down. Mark Foley is going to hold on to this. Across the line they go. And leaps to P1. Jacob Simmons second, Jeff Koppel third, Nick Mazza fourth, John Drecke fifth, Gage Hines sixth, Colin Pepper 7, Austin J. McGill in 8, Andrew Korostecki wins in the AM class for 9th, Joshua D. in 10th, Braden Daniels 11, Matt Benson, a little ways to go, but he's going to win over Alex Zier for the Pro-Ams. Alex Zier in 13, Andrew Frank 14, Brandon G. Burns 15, Ben Lafter in 16, Forrest Holland has just a little bit ways to go, and that will be 17. And then Andrew Simmons, 18. William Florence wins for the rookies in 19. Ryan Chandler, a little bit ways to go, but these drivers have all been battling out here. Ryan Chandler in 20, Aaron Eckers 21, Oliver Brooks 22, Theo Nolasco 23, Matthew Mercier 24, Tyler Kern 25, Brian Alvarez Jr. 26, Mark Turk 27, Peter Flam 28, Elliot A. Burton in 29, Reagan Chandler in 30, Thomas Smith 31, just a little bit ways to go there, and Daryl Carrington 32, Steve McAllister is going to finish 33, Joe Ferraroni 34, Richard Swiderski still out there battling with Brian McGrath, and these two are going to get it into the through this section, and it looks like Richard Swiderski doesn't have enough. So Brian McGrath is going to take that, and Richard Swiderski is limping to the line as he's going to get there. Jason Daly just behind in 37, Joshua Justice 38, Brendan S. Powell in 39, Marshall Scar 40, Paul Bummer 41, Greg Hero 42, Eric Koonsman 43, Edgar Acevedo in 44, Angel Manolo Soda 45, Colin Burns 46, Nathan Hepperly 47, Kyle Strauss. Oh yeah, Mark Foley joined us.
Hello.
Oh, already. Hey, what a finish! I mean, first off, congratulations for winning that. I mean, what do you think? Okay,
I didn't fix it in time.
so
That's my line.
yeah. What happened on those last laps? Why were you able to capitalize so much through the pit strategy on that the overcut, and then also you made your move on Gage Hines? Do you think his was related to fuel?
So I'm just talking to him now. He had damage. So the lap before that we went into the pits, he said he spun at 130R and he hit the outside curb and maybe had a brush with the wall. Because, yeah, I was just as surprised when I came out right beside him. I kind of thought I would go forward with the fuel saving and everything, which I did. But, yeah, then I was all over him, and it felt completely different. I didn't know anything was wrong. I couldn't see any damage on the back of him.
Yep.
But I knew the S's were like the fastest part for my car, like suits the Aston super well. So I feel like that was my only real chance to pass, because I wasn't very good in the last chicane either. And then, yeah, I just set one up. I backed off early and then got on the power really early, so I had the exit. And I also know he's got the championship to think about a little bit, so I thought if I stuck the nose in, he would probably give me a bit of room, and he did. And yeah, that was very cool. It was very satisfying.
Well, a fantastic result. I mean, it wasn't just you that he let pass. I mean, he ended up tumbling to 6th. I mean, I think at one point he just kind of let some people by, and then I think the only one he didn't let by was Colin Pepper. He's like, he's too far back. I'm going to try to stick with it. But I mean, fantastic result, Mark. I was just talking about, how that initial start was just nothing but champions, row after row. It was pro champions that were in the mix. How'd it feel off the opening lap? Do you think, were you worried about anything there?
I had a pretty bad first lap. The Aston has such a long first gear that we went on green and Colin Pepper got past me pretty easily. And then I think he had a wiggle in the last corner of the first lap, so I managed to get back past. But I don't know, I was just fuel saving behind Jeff and Mazza. They could have pulled away from me, I think, but then they started scrapping into the last chicane, so that kept me within like 0.6 or 0.7. But that was my only shot, was fuel saving, really, because Javecki behind me was equally as quick as I was. Like, all the top 8 were all setting pretty much equal lap times. So fuel was my trump card.
Well, congratulations.
I could have taken less, actually. I had a bit too much, so I could have taken even less.
We'll call you the fuel whisperer from now on. I mean, that is a fantastic result. Hey, thanks for joining, Mark. Congratulations and great result. I mean, that was fantastic to watch the last couple of laps where you really put it together.
Great. Yeah, I hope it was fun to watch. Thanks for the stream, Jason. Bye-bye.
Matt Benson, congratulations, finishing 12th overall, first in class. And then, by the way, I mean, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 Pro-Ams all in a row. I mean, how was it? Especially with Alexier, who you had a buffer for a bit, but then you lost that buffer. Braden Daniels got past you. How was that overall for you?
Horrifying and a lot of fun, because when I thought I had my pit set up right and ended up screwing it up and I was short 0.4, so was fuel saving the entire second half, and let Braden by, hoping to get a little draft, and was just watching Alex slowly catch in. So horrifying, but a lot of fun to fuel save and keep it. And then he went for a dive and a half at the end. I don't know if you saw it or not, and ended up going off track there.
Yeah, I don't think I was. It was right down to the wire for some of those pros as they were finishing the race. But I mean, I don't think I might have clipped it just slightly, but it would have been out of my view. But I mean, I did notice how close it was for you two at the end. Did you feel like you were having to put your car into defensive mode for that last, I'd say, lap 22 onward? Because he was close.
For the most part, not really. I mean, maybe the last 2 laps or so, I kind of like did a half defense for the final chicane, but everything else he was pretty close. And then I had a horrible exit at a spoon, and so for the final lap, I had to defend hard, and I think he just sent it a little further than what he was wanting to. But I crossed the start finish line, and my car started sputtering, so it would have been down to the wire for me for sure.
That's always got to feel really intense. I mean, congratulations. I mean, another fuel whisperer here because you had to end up saving more than you would have liked. Yeah, so it's two drivers. You both won your respective spots in class, worrying about fuel. Matt, congratulations! It was a great result. I mean, you didn't even move spots, which is, I mean, it's kind of funny though because you were consistent, and sometimes consistency can pay off where you jump a bunch of spots, especially when one of the pros was out early. But qualifying P12 and finishing P12 when you know you're stacked up against pro drivers that are above you. It's not. It doesn't even have to feel bad about that one. You know that they're putting in a lap that is not even that much bigger of a gap to yours. It's half a second sometimes. I mean,
yeah.
There's only
not only that.
Yeah.
The transfer from 70-degree practice temperature to 100-degree track temperature was a bit of a change too that I had done 0 practice for.
Oh.
So I know like Jeff and some of those guys had done the hot practice, and I was like, what are y'all doing that for? It's 70 degrees. And yeah, race hit. And we're going, hey, it's 100 degrees. So
hey, that's just broken wing racing, fun weather settings.
A nice curveball for you. 10 a.m. and it's 100 degrees out, so it makes sense, I guess.
Hey, I mean, it is Japan. It does get really hot and humid at this time. But thanks for joining me, Matt. That was a great result. Take care, man.
Appreciate it, Jason. Love you. Bye.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Chris, Jeff, for being in the chat. Everyone else, if you're just watching and lurking, join us. We do also have the streams on Thursdays. So if you're around, that is going to be the MX-5s on Thursdays. Great to... Oh, Mark Foley, who was just in here, one of the co-commentators for that. He's great. As well as, where did our Dylan M. Thomas finish? Was the other co-commentator. He was in the mix. I'm just not sure where he's at. But hey, he was out there. Thank you, everybody, for joining me, and have a good evening.